A warm welcome from me as well. My name is Niels Righolt. I'm the director for the Danish Center for Arts and Interculture in Copenhagen, and as such, kind of overall responsible for the carrying out of these annual Nordic transnational conferences, the Arts and Audiences. And for me, I would like to express, before we go into action and let our minds be filled with all kinds of inspiration and thoughts and friction and challenges, to express my profound gratitude and thanks to the Ministry of Education and Culture, the City of Reykjavik, and not least Harpa for having us. It's so great to be here. It's such a great venue. It's such a great atmosphere. So a warm thank you for that. Now, the Arts and Audiences is a kind of conference where we'd like to try to find out what is actually going on in the relationship between the artists, their audience, and the institutions. The triangle, the golden triangle of artistic interference, artistic production, cultural production, the perception of the audience, the people basically in the Nordic countries paying the party, and trying to find out how we can use the arts, the cultural sector, in the continuous development of our democracies. That includes, of course, trying to turn the stones, trying to find out what happens if we do it upside down, inside out, or quite opposite. What happens if we challenge our own modus operandi, the way that we always conduct things? The Art and Audience is supposed to be, and we hope it will be, a growing family of people interested in developing the arts, interested in finding out how to relate to that audience that we would like to tell our stories to, or the narratives, or we would simply just like to move them, or provoke them, or stimulate them. But also trying to find out what happens when we address the cultural politicians, the infrastructure, the DNA of how we are actually organized. So this conference is not, basically, it's not different from the former conferences. It's about who are we, who are they, and how can we do things in another way. And this year, the focus is on digital at the arts, digitalization. How does that influence the ways of production, the ways of perception, the ways of collaboration, co-creation, participation? We have invited, I think, an enormously interesting group of people to come and share their projects, their experiences, their thoughts, their pros and contras with us. And I hope that you will participate exactly as much. Feel free to question, feel free to ask questions, feel free to discuss, and you can even do that online by going into the hashtags and the Bisaboo. You can download the Bisaboo, and basically then you can be part of the online community. And I would not just like to welcome you in the auditorium, but also welcome the increasing amount of people following this conference online from all over the world. But all this would never be possible without a considerable support. And from the very beginning, the Nordic bodies have made it possible. No nation, no hosting city would be able to bring together this kind of complex conference without financial support. The first 3 years, it was the Nordic Culture Point and the Nordic Cultural Foundation, and this year, this support has been granted us by a very generous grant from the Nordbook to make the youth initiative possible, and by the Nordic Council of Ministers. And I would very much specifically like Anna and Ida just to stand up, because you have made this conference possible by a very generous donation. Thank you. And having said that then, it's time to go into action. So I would like to introduce the moderator, who is going to run us through the conference and guide us and whip us if we extend the times and go over our limits. So, Katrine Nyland Sørensen, please join me on stage and take over.